Hey superstar, in this video I'm going to talk about how to overcome fear in business and stop driving yourself crazy. Let's go. Here's a little overview of what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to talk about some of the most common fears in business. I'm going to talk about where they come from, and finally, how to confront and overcome them. And before I dive into the content, I do want to address why this work is so important. The fact is that when we have a lot of fear, we tend to organize our lives, organize our businesses to accommodate our fears. So what happens is when we're focusing on organizing around our fears, that can really keep our business small and not allow us to dream big, think big, or create anything big. If fear is driving the bus, we're not going to go very far. Now, before I dive into this content, I want to share with you a little bit about where I've learned some of what I'll be talking about. I have done a lot of personal development work over the years. I've worked with a lot of mentors, a lot of coaches. I'm not going to list off all of them, but suffice it to say that what I'm sharing is an amalgam, is a synthesis of many different areas of focus and individuals. And having said that, I do want to give credit to one person in particular because it's the most recent thing that I've done with fear and the most, I think, impactful. One of the things that brought more things to my awareness than I even realized were there. And his name is Albert Pellichet. So I've talked about Albert before on this channel. Maybe somebody will forward this video for him. Hey, Albert. But Albert, I recently brought him into one of my retreats, and he ran my leadership cabinet through a fear exercise, a Clear Your Fears worksheet that was very, very valuable. So if you want to check out Albert and check out this Clear Your Fears workshop and worksheet, you can check it out at clearyourfear.org. Now, what I'm going to share with you kind of incorporates a little bit of that, as well as some of the other things that I've learned from a variety of different sources. But that is one place you can go if you really want to go deeper into this work. Now, also before I dive into the content, I do want to invite you to take a moment, please, to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and know that I'm always open to hearing from you below in the comments. So let's talk a little bit about what some of the most common fears are in business. They might not even be a fear in business. They might come from somewhere outside of business, but we bring it into our business. So one of the most common fears that people have is a fear of being rejected. They fear a client saying no or a prospect saying no in a sales process. They fear putting themselves out there in a branding and marketing perspective. They fear being rejected or ridiculed. That's one of the most common fears, and that's one that has come up for me a lot. Another big fear is the fear of failure, the fear of it not working out and then having to face the music, whether that's financially, let's say bankruptcy, which is another fear, or just socially of having to admit, hey, this business didn't work out, or I'm going to go back and get a job. So those are some really deep fears that people have. Another fear is the fear of letting people down, of disappointing people. And that's a fear that can really keep us small, because if we have a fear of letting people down, we might not want to take on more. We might not want to grow the business because that'll just compound the fear and have more and more people that we could possibly let down. These are all fears that I have faced myself. And so I empathize and sympathize if you are facing any one or all of these fears. And now we're going to dive into what you can do about it and how to get a handle on these fears so that you can overcome them and have a bigger, more expansive business and life. So the first thing I invite you to do is to really think about what you want. What is it that if you could wave a magic wand and there was nothing in your way, what would your life look like? What would your business look like? And here's the thing. Most of the time, we don't even allow ourselves to dream big enough. Most of the time, before we're even beginning to share our dream, there's a part of our mind saying, you can't have that, you can't do that, who do you think you are? A lot of times that voice that's saying that is some internalized parent voice from our childhood. If we had a parent or a parent figure that wasn't super supportive or that criticized us or intimidated us, we can sometimes, it's a natural human thing, internalize that parent figure, that person, into ourselves, and then we become that person inside. We might have what some people call a sub-personality that's speaking those same messages that we heard in our childhood to us subconsciously or even consciously as an adult. So the first thing I invite you to do is to really dream all the way. Like, it's a magic wand. You have a genie in a bottle that is coming out and saying, you can have anything you want. What do you want your life, your business to look like? Anything goes. And that can help you to really tap into a bigger vision. Now, for some of us, again, that's really hard to do. So you may want to perhaps do a slowing down, a meditation, some deep breathing, get yourself into a positive state. If you're feeling angry, frustrated, tired, annoyed, this isn't going to work. You've got to get yourself feeling at least neutral, if not positive and hopeful and optimistic, so that you can even tap into the dream. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of my dream. Now, by the way, this is kind of a big deal for me to go ahead and share this vision with you on YouTube in front of anybody who ever wants to see this video. But I'm going to go ahead and do it because I want to model for you what this could look like. All right. So my vision, my dream is to write multiple New York Times best-selling books and to have millions and millions of readers and books sold all around the world. That's my dream. So now it's your turn. What's your big dream? What's your big vision? What is it that you want? If you could wave a magic wand, make a wish on a genie, what would that look like? All right. Second thing, when you think about that vision, what are all the fears that come up around it? What are all the things that could get in the way of you achieving that? What is every single thing you can think of? And I'm looking for at least 20, if not 30 or 40 fears, because what'll happen is the really obvious ones will pop up first, like I fear that I'm not good enough, or I fear that I can't write well enough, or, obvious things. But as you go deeper and deeper, some really not obvious things will start to pop up. Honestly, again, I'm going to get vulnerable here. I'm going to share with you some of my deepest fears. When I did this exercise with Albert, with that worksheet, one of the fears that came up way, way later in the game, many days into this exercise, was that I fear someone will kill me for my beliefs. I fear that if I have this millions of followers and millions of books, that I will be a target for someone to hurt me or kill me, which is really kind of crazy. Like, why would someone do that? Well, I don't know, but that's a deep-seated subconscious fear that I have when I thought really, really big about what my vision could be. So think about, what are those deep, deep, dark fears that you fear if this vision were to come to fruition? Okay, now that you have at least 20 or 30 of these, just look at them and notice them. Just recognize them, just feel them, and maybe even notice that some of them might be a little bit ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. They're a fear. Own it, love it, be with it, and then take that paper that you wrote this down on and rip it up. Burn it, destroy it, get rid of it. And then do this exercise again and again, over and over, for at least 10 or 11 days. Albert recommends doing it 11 to 14 days, and he had us in our workshop do it many, many times. Now, again, I'm not doing it exactly how he did it. I didn't go into as much depth. I didn't give you the worksheet. If you want to check this out and do this for yourself, I highly recommend going to clearyourfear.org and doing the full process with Albert, with his worksheet all the way in. All right, and maybe forward this message along to Albert so that he knows that he's got a fan who loves his work and loves what he does. And so I hope that this has helped you. Now, if you're interested in working with someone that incorporates both strategies and skills for business growth, as well as mindset exercises to clear out limiting beliefs and patterns and limitations, then perhaps we could work together. Go ahead and check out my programs and products and services at superstaractivator.com. I look forward to meeting you.